evening. Good evening. Hi, good evening, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening to all those who are watching us on live on both Facebook this afternoon. Thank you for waiting. I know we are about 10 minutes. Sorry about the technical issues that we are facing, but we're all good to run now. Welcome to the APSWC Knowledge Series. APSWC stands for Asia Pacific Spa and Wellness Coalition. It was officially registered in 2007 and as a regional body which links the National Spa Association across Asia Pacific. And one of our objectives of the association is to foster growth and development of the industry through collaboration and collective information and resource sharing across the region. And that's why here we are today, a monthly basis that we are holding this knowledge series. And today we're happy to feature someone from the industry, Neil Orvay, and this session is moderated by our own chairman, Mr. Andrew Jacker. And today's topic is Elevate Your Team's Potential with Neil Orvay. All right, Andrew, are you ready? And let's welcome Andrew, and over to you, Andrew.
Yeah, ready. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you for putting this together. All right. Just to introduce Neil, for those who don't know him, Neil Orvay is best known probably for his Sense of Touch spas in Hong Kong. Currently, he operates between Dubai and Hong Kong, where he teaches psychology courses, right? Mainly to the corporate world. His foray into the spa industry began way back in 2022. With his business partner, he opened the first Sense of Touch facility in Hollywood Road in central Hong Kong. Today, Sense of Touch operates 3 multi-award-winning spas in Hong Kong. He's got the 5-story flagship in Lang Kwai Fong in central Hong Kong. He has Repulse Bay Arcade. Repulse Bay Arcade, which opened in 2009, and the Crowne Plaza Hong Kong Kowloon East Hotel, a 5-star hotel spa. Today, Neil is introducing to us a learning management system for the spa, which focuses on interpersonal skills and leadership. Spa and wellness staff are traditionally trained in treatment and products, but not interpersonal skills. So the training course was developed to fill this gap, and we're very honored to have Neil with us today. A CIDESCO certificate is issued upon completion of the training, which is now being rolled out globally. All right, Neil, welcome.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Alicia. It's a pleasure to be here. So maybe just to clarify, we started in 2002, not 2022. So we've been going for over 20 years. And
21 years, yeah.
Initiation of this, if I can maybe just show my screens. Kennedy, if you can pull up my slides. Thank you. So as Andrew mentioned, my passion is teaching psychology, and most of my clients are multinationals, financial institutions, and such. My professional background is investment banking. I invested in the first Sense of Touch back in 2002 and got more involved as the business grew and as the brand grew, and also as my understanding and my passion for the industry grew. So what I teach is how to use psychology to drive businesses. And obviously, spas, like any other retail business, need to be profitable. And once again, as Andrew mentioned, most of the training that takes place today in the spa industry focuses on treatment skills and protocols and on retail sales. But nobody's teaching people how to communicate. Now, why did I get into this? Well, when I first started with the spas, my business partner said to me, Neil, can you speak normally? You're scaring the girls. This is a true quote. And I thought, what do you mean I'm scaring the girls? I think I'm a nice guy. I try to help out. I show interest. But let's think about this. I was used to communicating with people in investment banks, with lawyers, with asset managers, with traders. And the way I communicated in that environment is very different to how I needed to communicate with spa therapists in a very different business environment. So something wasn't working. The words I was using, my tone of voice, my body language. And when you put these together, I was intimidating my staff, which of course was never my intent. It's not what I wanted to do. So I started studying neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, some of you may have heard of it, and other areas of business psychology so that I could improve my communications with people that were not the same as me. Now, if I needed that, surely other people need it. So think about this, most of the new entrants into the spa market globally are what we call Gen Z, they're Generation Z. They are under 27 years old. They were born roughly between 1996 and 2010. So most new entrants into the workplace are of this generation. And this is the first digitally native generation ever. That means that most of the people we are hiring in our industry are used to communicating through devices electronically. Not the traditional way, looking people in the face, but most of the clients that are, putting down money for your packages, paying for your premium products and your premium facials, those clients are not under 27 years old. They're between 40 and 60. And they're used to communicating in what my generation would call a traditional way. So how can we expect our 20-something-year-old spa team to have the skills to connect with and build relationships with people twice their age? And that's what this training that I've developed is all about. Now, let me give you the reason that I developed this training. So I own a small chain of spas in Hong Kong, as was mentioned. And one day my wife was calling up one of my spas to book a technical treatment. It was an M6 treatment. And this was what happened. She called at 9 a.m. and the receptionist said, "Oh, sorry, ma'am. The person who does that treatment isn't here. I'm on my own." It sounded like we were about to shut the spa down. And when my wife puts the phone down and says, "Neil, how have you trained these people?" I'm thinking, we have trained them. We've trained them multiple times because, of course, that's not the reality. The reality is that within 30 minutes, we can have the therapist that is M6 trained on the premises, and that person would arrive at 10 a.m. anyway, because being a hotel, it works in double shifts. So all the receptionist would say was, "Certainly, ma'am, would you like to book that for 10 a.m. or for 11 a.m.? And then when the booking is done, put the phone down, call the therapist and say, 'Get here immediately, we've got a booking.'" That's what should have happened. But somewhere the training was lost. So I wanted to create an online, on-demand training series that would capture these soft skills, these interpersonal skills, so that they could be repeatedly reviewed, repeatedly practiced. Because the way the human brain works is, if I tell you something right now, while it may be interesting, it doesn't immediately mean you can do it. You need to practice what you're taught over a period of time before you become what we call unconsciously competent, i.e. you do it naturally. So if you think about, if you drive a car, when you first learned to drive a car, everything was very conscious. You were looking in the mirror, looking over your shoulder. But after a couple of months, it was all natural. If you play a sport, maybe you play tennis or any racket sport, and initially the timing was very difficult, but after some years, you just hit the sweet spot every time. This is what we call unconscious competence. And for us to get good at things, it takes 3 to 4 months practice. So the way I've developed this online training is in 3 monthly cycles. So it is a manager-led training, although individual therapists or receptionists can sign up and do it if they want to learn. But at a spa level, the manager should drive the training, because there are 12 modules, each module 1 week. And then over 3 months, you finish all the modules, then you review them. And each module takes 15 to 20 minutes. So small bite sizes. Now, I'm going to go through a series of slides here, which I'm not going to stop on because unfortunately I couldn't upload the slides. This is a PDF, so I can't jump straight to the one I want, but I'm going to go fast forward to the slide that I want to show you, which shows you the sort of content that needs to be covered if your team are going to understand how to use interpersonal skills to connect with clients and build a stronger relationship and more repeat request clientele. So let me just quickly go through these. This is part of a longer presentation. Okay, so here we are. So this is the landing page. The training is available in English, French, Spanish, and also now in Portuguese. They're the 4 languages at the moment. As I said, it is fully online, on demand. It is the first ever CIDESCO approved soft skills training. And there are 3 different trainings, 1 for spa managers, 1 for spa receptionists, and 1 for spa therapists. The spa receptionist one is where I started, because as the example I gave you about my receptionist potentially losing business with my wife, that is where the biggest leakage is. Reception is the first and last point of contact a client has usually. And if reception doesn't know how to manage the relationship and build the relationship and drive and support and market the team, then the chances are your spa is losing 20% of its potential revenues without you even knowing it. That revenue is either not arriving or it's not coming back. Too many clients only come once. There are techniques based on psychology that you can use, just the way in which you speak, the order in which you put your words, that will change the likelihood that clients become sticky, that clients return. Remember, it's a very competitive business. You have people competing for your business. But if you don't know how to position the words, the chances are many clients that would come back are not coming back. You know, it's not enough to have good products and do good treatments. Any good spa does that already. It's about building relationships. Gartner research shows that over 50% of the decision on who to buy from is not based on the product, and it's not based on the technology or the treatment. It's based on the experience of dealing with someone, the experience of dealing with your bookings, the experience of dealing with your therapist, with your management, any interaction that people have. So how do we do that? We have to learn a number of different skills. And the one on the screen at the moment, is for the managers, okay? So the way in which the manager training works is it shows the managers what their team have learned, okay? It shows the managers what their team have learned. We expect the managers to know most of this, but this will show them what everybody else should know. And then, as I said, because it takes time, because it takes that 100 to 120 days to create behavioral change, we have a whole series of post-training collaterals, games, role plays, knowledge reviews, articles, top tips. And on the right, you can see a wall chart where the managers will say, okay, on this day, we are going to practice X. And that is how you have that repeat learning cycle, okay? So this is designed for anybody in the spa or salon sector to build the soft skills to do 2 things. And these are the holy grails. And I'm going to stop talking and open up the questions in a minute. The holy grail for me of operating and running spas is to have repeat request clients. Repeat, i.e. they keep coming back to your salon or your spa. Request, they request the therapist by name. Because as long as you've priced your treatments correctly, if you have got therapists who are 80% request bookings, you are going to make money and have a long-term sustainable spa business. But without the right skills, you're not going to achieve that as easily. So I'll just go back and leave it on this slide because that's the slide that shows you the content. And I'll open it up for any questions, Andrew.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Neil. I mean, you started off by saying that you were questioned about scaring the girls, right? Even here, some of, once you start talking about psychology and whatever, I mean, it's like, oh, right? But in reality, it's a lot of it, I think you could probably say, is common sense, yeah?
Yeah.
So anyway, I do have a couple of questions myself, but hopefully we have joining us, we have two people who are joining us. We have Jory Montilla, who's Director of Spa and Wellness at Ayana Resort in Bali, and Reena Chef, who is the Area Director of Wellness for the Indian Hotels Company Limited, whose brands include the Taj Hotels, Vivanta, and Ginger, plus others. So those two ladies will be joining us shortly to add in some of the questions. So Kennedy, if you could let them in, that would be appreciated. But just as we start, Neil, can I ask one question? You said specifically that this is manager driven, right? Now, as we all know, unfortunately, not all managers are as managerially focused as what we necessarily would like to think. So if I've got a therapist who's really upbeat and, she's a real go-getter, is this the sort of thing that, a therapist or just a receptionist could do off their own bat?
Yeah, the answer is 100% yes. Initially, we did not offer the training to individual therapists or receptionists. We wanted to sell it as a spa product that was purely manager driven. However, after CIDESCO looked at it and really loved the content and approved it, we thought that we should open this up to any spa professional who wants to improve their skills. So yes, individual licenses for therapists or receptionists can and have been purchased. We do not sell individual manager licenses because the manager one has to come as part of a spa package, because that's where all of the post collaterals are. So the manager training has all the collaterals attached for the whole 3-month cycles, and that does need to be manager driven. But individual therapist and spa licenses, no problem.
So an individual therapist could get a CIDESCO certificate. An individual receptionist can get a CIDESCO certificate, but with the manager, that also has CIDESCO certificate, but only for the manager.
Correct. So
the manager has the tools. She has all of the tools to train the therapist and train the receptionist.
So the therapists and the receptionists need to take the training themselves. If the manager takes a training on their own and is then expected to train the therapists and receptionists, in reality, it's not going to happen. People are just too busy. It would literally absorb all the manager's time. So the therapist and receptionist should take the therapist course or the receptionist course. And of course, if they want the CIDESCO certification, they have to take it themselves.
Yeah.
Now, if the team is taking it, the manager wants to know what they've learned. The manager's job is at the weekly meetings or however they structure it to basically say, okay, this week we are going to focus on how to build a repeat client base. This week we're going to focus on telephone communications. This week we're going to focus on in-room pre-treatment communication. Some of the content is only for the therapist, some of it is only for the receptionist, some of it works for both.
Okay. All right. Reena, do you have any questions for Neil?
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Neil.
You had a lovely presentation, and it sounds very interesting because there is nothing like this that exists in the industry so far. And I have one question, which is, does the manager's course include the therapist as well as the receptionist course?
Yes. So in total, and all of this, by the way, is on the landing page. I can share the QR code of the landing page later on. In total, there are 17 modules. There are 12 modules for the receptionists. There are 10 modules for the therapists, but there's some overlap. So in total, there are 17 different modules. The manager's course covers 14 of the 17. Okay, 2 of them are combined. So there's 12 videos in the manager's course, but 2 of the videos combine 2 modules from the therapist course each. So to answer your question, yes, the manager will see 14 out of the 17 topics that are covered in the therapist and receptionist course. The 3 that aren't covered are very receptionist specific. So they're not as relevant in terms of the manager following up with post-training or post-session training, so to say. So the manager's training will give everything that your team have learned, so that all you need to do is take the knowledge reviews, take the role plays, take the games, and practice it with them to make sure that they're using the skills correctly.
All right. Got that. Thank you.
Pleasure.
I mean, with all of these games, Neil, I mean, there's games within the manager, there's games within the reception and within the therapist.
No, all of these collaterals sit with only the manager, because only the manager can manage this process. Only the manager can assess if the team members are correctly applying everything. Because once again, we are not aiming to replace the existing protocols and training that the spas have. I mean, of course, every large chain or every spa have got their own protocols. What we're saying is, look, here's how the psychology works. So take this and obviously embed it within your existing processes, but make sure you cover these simple tools. So the trainings have to be administered by the manager, because the manager is the only person that has, let's call it the helicopter view, that knows everything that's required within their own spa.
Okay. All right. I would like to bring everybody's attention to Neil's background, actually, because as we're moving forward here, obviously within the APSWC, we'll be sharing the links and whatever for everybody who wants to avail of this opportunity. But the website there, the Evolution-U, is where you can get access to all of this training. All right. Obviously, if you come through the APSWC, we've got special deals. So thank you for that, Neil. All right. And so we will be sharing that through our membership. But this training is because it really is filling a gap, right? It's not teaching them how to be a therapist or how to massage, right? It's not teaching them that, right? It really is that big scary words, the psychology of the industry, right? I mean, we're supposed to be an industry of mind, body, and spirit. So, maybe this is part of the spiritual training that's coming into play. I don't know, all right? I don't know if you agree with that, Neil, or not, but, it's definitely filling a gap, and it's based on what I've seen. I mean, obviously I haven't been through the training myself or whatever, but it just really looks like it would be fun training, interesting, and would yield a very positive outcome for any facility who actually does undertake the training. So, kudos to you, Neil. I commend you and your team and everybody who was involved in putting it all together. All right. So,
thank you, Andrew.
Okay, unfortunately, it looks like Jory is not joining us. So, Rena, do you have any other questions? Or Alicia, do you have any other questions for Neil?
If I could maybe just ask Kennedy to put the slides back up, because the QR code there can take you straight to the homepage, and there you can get a lot more information. You can see there's sample videos, there's PDFs with all the information about each of the individual courses, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go. You can see the QR code there. So that QR code will take you to the homepage. The other thing worth mentioning is there's also a discount for APSWC members. Got that right?
Yeah.
So there's also a discount there. So anybody that is interested, just reach out to me directly, and I will share the discount code with you. We've kept the pricing of this very, very low. Okay, I mean, we're talking for a therapist, $99 US. I mean, under $100 US for this sort of content is next to nothing. But we want this to be available for the market. It does cost a little bit more for receptionists, $149, and then the manager one's $499, but you only need one of those. So the idea, after any discount, is to keep this down to around about 100 US, or just about 100 to 120 US per head on average, and that's with CIDESCO certification. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you've got CIDESCO certification, I mean, that just raises the bar big time, right? So, the fact that they're on board is just truly amazing. And obviously, anybody who does undertake the training, it just definitely raises the bar. We as an industry, we've been through a lot. In many ways, we're still regrouping after COVID as things sort of reestablish themselves. And the whole element of training, I would suggest, is probably being missed or become less important of late. And it's more focused on, just getting customers through the door. Whereas if you do invest with this type of training, and you can build your repeat customer base, I mean, that just makes life so much easier. It reduces your marketing budgets and just, right, away you go.
Absolutely.
So, okay. I'm just repeating myself. So I'm quite excited about this. I was very happy when you approached us. And, this obviously is only an introductory thing. There is a bit more research that needs to be done by all parties. So, right. And short and sweet, this video, we will upload this to YouTube as well shortly. All right. So, right, you can log on there as well as share it across all of our social media platforms. So, right. Again, just before we wrap this up, Alicia, or do you have any questions for Neil?
Yes, I totally agree with you, Andrew. I think, this is really first of one of a kind that, is only CIDESCO approved and it's really online. It makes it so flexible for people around the world, managers, directors, to really easily access to this. I remember when I was in the spa industry 20 years ago, standing at the counter, and when somebody called, and we don't have therapists, like how are we going to answer that questions, right? And having this program so made easy for everybody, and they can actually access it anytime, right? Neil, when they sign up for this, right, it is really their own course of journey when they are free to actually attend. Like, for example, right, I'm a therapist. I perhaps don't have to work 8 hours in a day, right? So if I have an hour free, I can access it anytime. Is that how it works, the program?
Yes, it's on demand, and each section takes about 20 minutes. So just 20-minute bite size. You can do it from your mobile phone.
Right. And this is really beautiful because, as a therapist, we are busy. We don't know when we have a guest and when we have no guest, and we can actually take the time to also learn. And I really like the program so much, Neil. This is really superb. And at the end of this course is actually a CIDESCO cert. Am I right, Neil?
That's correct.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Neil, and thank you, Andrew. Any questions from the floor? Any questions from our fans in the Facebook page here? Let us see. Anybody has a question? And Rina, do you have any question, Rina?
Hi. I think all the questions have been already answered. Whatever I could think of has been covered. It really looks like an interesting program. And if you could share the topics, that would be nice.
Yeah, all the topics. If you just go to the QR code on the landing page, you can download all the PDFs. There's 4 PDFs there. One of them for each of the 3 courses, manager, reception, and therapist, and one high-level one, really for spa directors and owners, that just covers everything.
Nice.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neil.
It's really nice. I think I will actually ask everybody, go scan the QR code, and in there you can see all the topics that this program has to cover. And we want to thank Neil so much for being with us this evening. despite your busy schedule, you're able to roll this out for APSWC because of the love for the industry. And we truly believe that, learning is a never-ending journey, right? Yeah.
Indeed.
So thank you so much, Neil. And thank you
Thank
so much to
you.
our chairman, Andrew, as well, for being here with
Thank
us
you,
as
Lisa.
the moderator.
Thank you, Neil.
And
Thank
thank
you,
you
Rena.
again, Tina, the director, that has so many questions. Initially, when we said we'll have this program, I said, oh, yes, I'd like to jump into this program, ask. And Neil, I think probably Rena is already buying into your program. Thank you so much.
Well, let's see.
We will also promote it via our YouTube channel as well. And I'm sure the audience is having a good time today listening to the program you are rolling out. Really, this is really one of a kind that truly online and able to be accessible anytime. Thank you so much, Neil.
Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Rena. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Namaste.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.